You are the living God.
There's anyone like you. You picked me from the mountain, set my feet on the rock to stay. You are my promoter, you are my defender. You are the living God. There's anyone like you.
Hello, brothers and sisters and lovely people who love marriage. I'm very happy to be with you today. Thank you for joining. I just love the power behind this song and what it evokes. It's so powerful, so good. I might not understand everything. Lovely, lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Marriage Melodies. We are here now to do another one. We are here to enjoy our opportunity together to learn again. And what are we talking about today? We're talking about in-laws are special in marriage. That's what we are here to talk about. In-laws are special in marriage. Welcome to Marriage Melodies. My name is Theo Akatugba. And since last Saturday we met, we talked about how to improve your hygiene so that your marriage will be beautiful. And so today we are continuing on Marriage Melodies, but the topic today is in-laws are special. I decided to take on this because I have noticed that a lot of our people are beginning to behave in a manner that I will call unruly. A lot of young women are beginning to imagine and even pray that the man they will marry should not have parents, especially should not have a mother. They pray this prayer because they want to be in the life of their husband without someone like a mother-in-law. Some don't even want parent-in-laws. Some don't want brothers and sister-in-laws. In the West, they have developed so much that marriage is now between only two people. Only two. No. Marriage is between two people with the family. In Africa, where there is citadel of divine wisdom, marriage is between families. The two of you who are marrying are the actors that are executing the purpose of the family, the good purpose of the family. That's what you do. In your marriage, two of you promotes the unity that was intended when two of you got married. So what you see is that You see some young men, they pray that they should not have a mother-in-law because they don't want to care for anyone. What they want, marry the woman, be with her alone and cuddle her alone. Don't want distraction. The women don't want any mother-in-law coming in to breathe on them and direct them. They don't want their husbands to have someone else that he is loyal to. They want the loyalty of the husband to be exclusively to them. Not to talk of another wife. We are talking of mother-in-law. They don't want it. You see? What is the reason for that? It is because of chronic selfishness. Chronic selfishness. When you say chronic selfishness, is when you desire that your husband should not have a mother. So if you are one of such, today is an episode where we will have this interaction. We will have a discussion. We will talk about it. When we talk about it, you understand that in-laws are special. Those who wish them dead are in error. Those who want in-laws to have died before they come in are in error. Yes, sir. Kole Neni is watching, and Namdi Ihejerika. Good morning to you, my friends, for joining me this morning. The topic is in-laws are special. It means that I am going to promote the relationship between you and your in-laws if you are married. If you are not married, I want to tell you that you are entering into a relationship with in-laws, not your spouse. Your spouse is their representative. Your spouse is the executor of their goodwill, the will they had when marriage was contracted. So there is no way you can wish in-laws away. For you to wish your in-laws away, it means that you are trying to marry your husband in a desert. All of you that are watching this morning, you can share with me. Some will say you don't know Mr. Akatugba. That the people that in-laws, some of them can be very difficult. Some will say all manner of things. I understand. But in-laws are special. Special in many ways. So in the West, a lot of people marry only themselves and they say there should be no interference. After some time, they soon realize that the lack of these distractions are even working against the marriage. In some other climes like Africa and the communities that I am conversant with, I see that such distractions can be a plus. Some can be a headache too. It's not as if a lot of them are not headache full. But it is important to know that in-laws are special. And why are they special? We will get to know in the course of this short discussion this morning. I have seen in-laws make a marriage to break. I have seen in-laws promote marriage. And in all these two circumstances, what you must understand is not the in-laws that are making the marriage, but it is the two people who are married that broke their marriage and blame the in-laws. Because the in-laws are constant, ever present, ever involved. It is indeed their marriage. Yes, Namdi is writing. I had a good fiancé, but terrible potential in-laws. That was what ended the relationship. That's correct. He says that he wanted to marry a woman, but the in-laws were terrible. That is what I am saying this morning. Indeed, you need to look out for the in-laws because they are special. So if you don't cultivate them well, even if you marry the best woman in the world, the in-laws can affect it. So Right from the foundation, you need to know who you are marrying. That's why I'm opening your eyes this morning, that you are marrying your in-laws. So if they are terrible people, it's as good as your wife. It could be terrible, because your wife is from your in-laws, and it is your in-laws who you are marrying in your wife. So this is the reason why when you are courting a man, set your eyes on your in-laws and see, because otherwise you will fight an unending battle. A battle that will continue to dot your marriage for a long time. It's very difficult to win your wife or your husband completely away from her family. They will oppose you eventually when they realize that you are taking them away from their family. So in-laws are special. In-laws are special. In the Bible, you find a good relationship between in-laws and spouses, and it went on like that. And it is the beauty of life that in-laws are special. And I'm talking now from the point of the women who are most vulnerable and challenged, who are most required to be submissive. Submissiveness to your husband is submissiveness to your in-laws. It is the same, because your husband cannot enjoy submissiveness from you, and the family will experience antagonism. It does not work like that. So what you do to your husband, it's the same package that we cascade to your in-laws. As a man, once you marry a woman, what has happened on the day of marriage is that your wife has left her family to be part of your family. That is why it is unfortunate when we hear in some states in Nigeria that a woman should go back and claim her state of origin in assessing opportunities. She do no longer have a state of origin. Her state of origin now is that of her husband. There is no interpretation you can give to it. Yes. Yeah, or Baslio, Juliet. Yeah, Juliet is watching. Take a look at this. So when a woman is told to go back to her state of origin, that is misnomer. It is not acceptable. It is greedy people and selfish people that misinterpret the divine situation. There's one big guy watching. His name is Eric Musi. Maera. No, Maera is one of the top sound engineers in South Africa. Sound producers. My brother, we've worked together in Niger, in Mali. What a lovely guy. Eric Musi, keep watching. The in-laws are special. The in-laws are special. If you wish away your in-laws, you've started wishing away your marriage. But if you can play the good political, game of in-laws, you secure your marriage to a great extent. That's why you look out for the troubled ones and play the politics, because you will do so for the rest of your life. Your in-laws are part of your marriage. Your in-laws are major players in your marriage. If you run away from them and you manage to escape that two of you are alone in the marriage, when trouble comes, you have no one to run to. This is the beauty of the African marriage and its concept. It's a concept that is eternal. It means that when you marry your in-laws, and they are part and parcel of the marriage. And the well-being of your relationship with them, to a large extent, guarantees the well-being of your marriage. And if there's no well-being between you and them, what you open up is access of evil. Different people will begin to touch the marriage. Let me give you an example. There was a young man who got married to this lady. Two of them were having a good marriage. The man was doing so well in supporting his wife in domestic issues. He used to bathe the children in the morning, helping them to prepare for school. That was good. On a certain occasion, one of his cousins came to visit. While she was in the house, she noticed that the man was doing and filling in all of these responsibilities. And the sister said, brother, what is this you are doing? Are you the one that bathed children as though you are a house help? You can even see your wife's younger brother in the house, and you do this job that are condescending? That's how she put it. The wife heard of it and took offense and began to attack and be hostile to the sister. During her stay, it resulted in the husband noticing the hostility between wife and cousin, that it affected the relationship, that they needed a third party to put them together. And when we were counseling together, I could see that the young lady, the wife, did not manage very well what the observation the sister made in respect of the husband playing or bathing the children, which in her opinion is a condescending role. Take note, she did not behave well, because if she had kept quiet, kept a straight face and addressed this with her husband privately, the sister-in-law would not have known that she's opposed to the way she behaved. We must understand that marriage is with our in-laws and not by ourselves alone. We are only agents who execute the will of the family when marriage was contracted. So, young man or a man out there, if you marry a woman, you have taken the woman from her family. You, the man, you are with your family but have adopted her parents as your new parents, because you have been exchanged as well. As they lose a daughter, they got a son. And that's why you must be careful in managing your relationship with them and taking care of them and ensuring that good is dispensed to them. You empower your wife to reach out to them so that they are not left wanting because their daughter has been taken away. So you must always be with them. Let me share with you Ruth chapter 1. I want to give you the foundation and how Ruth became an important character in biblical times. Look at this. When Ruth had died, just let's listen to a little music just for a moment. Erimusi, thank you for watching. I want you to continue. Sorry about that distraction. My room is getting warmer, so I need to put on the air conditioner. Now, what are we talking about? So we must say that Ruth was a woman of virtue. Look at what happened here. And she said, and they lifted up their voices and wept again. And Oprah, one of the in-laws, daughter-in-law, kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clave unto her. Oprah kissed the mother-in-law and said bye-bye to her. My husband is now dead. Death has done us apart. I am living now. But Ruth held on to her. So there are two wives of two sons of Naomi. The son had died. The sons have died. The two wives came to the mother-in-law. One kissed her goodbye. Her name is Oprah. The other held on to her. And she said, behold, my sister-in-law is gone back. She's referring to Oprah. He said, Oprah has gone back unto her people and unto her gods. Return thou after thy sister-in-law. This is what Naomi said. And Ruth said, entreat me not to leave thee. Do not ask me to leave you, or to return from following after thee. For wherever you go, I will go. And where you stay, I will stay. And where you sleep, I will sleep. Your people shall be my people, and your God shall be my God. What a declaration. This is marriage in its truest sense. A woman is left her family, not to return unto them. She is left to be with her new family, in which she makes children, bring forth children, build a new family. But those who return to their people are not praised in scripture. They don't have praises, for they did not indeed marry their husband. They only had a relationship for time, and when the husband departed, they went back to their families. She now said, where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried with you. And the Lord do so to me, and more also, if aught but death part thee and one. What a word. Ruth is the grandmother of Jesus Christ. These are spiritual elevations. And this is why when you marry your family, be careful to know that your in-laws are the building block, the edge around your marriage. When there is trouble, most of it is settled within the family. When there is crisis, you run to the family. Because in many homes and families, when you are alone and there is weather is beating the marriage, you have nowhere to go. You speak to yourselves, and two of you are too hot, too angered to resolve the matter. In the days of old, the strength of family kept our marriages together, built families in beautiful ways, and our forefathers had fewer divorces. But today, divorce is almost like the most popular thing than marriage. Those who are out of marriage, they do not have the courage to go into it. Those who are in it are smarting out to divorce. It's called a total breakdown of human patience. It means human being is expiring. He's always in this flight to the wrong, not wanting to preserve the things that preserves the important things. Family is preservable. When Abraham wanted to marry for Isaac, said unto him and declared that his servant should go and look for a wife for the son. Look at that. When they found the young woman, they went straight and saw her parents. Today, some societies are able to walk, meet a man in the park, and suddenly take the woman and they sign papers and come and tell everyone that they are married. What a joke. It's a big joke. Yes, Nnamdi writes again, but it seems the in-laws of the woman are more important and considered than the in-laws of the man. No. It is important to consider, a woman must consider the in-laws of a man. For marriage is tradition. When you marry a man, you marry his culture and tradition. When you marry a woman, you marry her culture and tradition. Your wife cannot be different from her culture and tradition. She is genetically from that culture and tradition. She is orientationally from that culture and tradition. Even if she has been orientated away, maybe you are a South African born in the US, you are Zulu born in the US, never been to the Zulu land. You are Zulu in spiritual genetic makeup, but you have been oriented like an American. The end of days, you will become a Zulu. No matter how much you go far, you will return home. That's why on the day of resurrection, all men will resurrect in their traditional birthplace. That is where your resurrection. If you like, you die in Afghanistan and you are from Igbo land in Nigeria. On the day of resurrection, you will come out from where you are. The higher doctrines. So you cannot escape it. You know? So let man know that you are not marrying a woman. You are marrying a tradition. You are marrying a culture. So if you want to be in marriage and succeed, don't bother about the beauty, the curvatures of her backside, the front. No, that's not your focus. That is a distraction. Focus on her makeup, her tradition, her culture, her family setup. That's for your marriage. When you get that right, you have gotten her right because she came from there. Even if she's going to depart from being that, they can help you bring her on course. That is your structure. A lot of people marry in error. They marry the big boobs, good curvature, and forget the important thing, tradition and culture. An American met me in China and told me that he married this Filipino and that in his life he has never seen a woman like this. That all his earlier two marriages failed catastrophically in the US. and that he had to run away, come to Asia. He found a princess. He was holding the woman nicely. He was so happy that his life has been beautified. He is marrying an Asian, a Filipino that has been properly cultured and trained about the sacredness of marriage, and that the Filipinos love to love. Look at that. They love family by culture, by orientation. And this is why many women, many people in Europe, in Britain, are running towards Asia to have wives that will comfort their soul. Not vampires that have been trained in their societies. So many vampires who are women, who are clothed in the shape of women. So many demons, beasts who appear like men. Society, culture, and orientation is very key and important. That's why one of my friends married a Filipino, and my daughter visited with them in the UK. My daughter came with a verdict that even she cannot do to her husband what this woman does to my friend. That my friend is somewhat living in heaven. That the woman revere him, submit, praises him in a manner that embarrasses her, an African woman. Those who have been to Philippines will testify. Marriage is a big business in such climb. Africa is like that, but a lot of wrong infiltrations, westernization, social medialization, stupidity has crowded into the heart of our women. What they are doing now, they have become confused because they are not even sure of who they are. Today they are Africans, tomorrow they are Europeans, next week they are Indians, now it's Chinese. When you go to America, the Chinese that comes to America do not change to become Americans. The Indians do not change their culture and become Americans. The Arabs are identified as Arab. Africans, a lot of our women become Americans. They begin to attack their husband. They begin to disparage in-laws. Like one video we saw, a young woman was holding her mother-in-law in bondage, in prison, lock her up in a room and prohibited her from proceeding and called police on mother-in-law and husband. What a matter. Yes, Nnamdi says again, finally, what can one do as a man when the family of the woman is mainly after material thing as a yardstick for a good in-law? This is correct. What you do, Nnamdi, is to take time out and speak with the in-laws like you do your family, because you are their son. You have to enlighten them that they must raise the bar of our relationship and ensure that it is not defined by materialism. Confronting issues head-on makes things to be better, instead of harboring in your heart resentment and hatred. When you do so, you hurt yourself first and foremost. You must meet with your in-laws, is it a father or a mother or sisters. But if you did not notice this before you married, then. But if you notice it, you should do something about it. Olu Ogunkoya is in, and Regina Tete. Thank you for watching this morning, my brothers. What I'm saying is that once you have married the people without knowing this, you must now play the politics. You must be frontal. Don't be confrontational. Tell them that a relationship is not defined by materialism. It is a spiritual affair. It is what we add to one another while we live on this mortal earth, not what we take from one another. What we add to one another. It is when we understand it from this point of view, then you know that you are going to win. If they are materialistic, there's not much you can do about changing them because it's become their way. Texas, thank you for joining me. So talk to them. Don't give up. Don't be resentful, because you are with them for life, except you want to do away with your wife. You want to marry your wife till eternity. I use the word eternity because in this earth you will die, but in the resurrection you will find who you loved. And when you find them, you will do something with them. You cannot dislike them in resurrection. The quotient, the quality of love with which you died is what you will raise with. So if you have a wife and two of you hate each other till you died, you hate her in your heart, you were pretending. When you die and resurrect, when you meet her, it is from that state you take off. And that's why Jesus said that in the resurrection, they are not given in marriage, meaning When we resurrect, you cannot go and meet some father and say, I want to marry your daughter. It is the wife that you have already got that you will still find to be your friend. And so this is angels. So you see an angel coming in beauty, one angel, but it's two. So these are very important things that you need to understand. That's why every day and every time you cultivate good relationship with your wife or your husband. Let me ask you, is there any man in this world who observe his wife and his mother in a beautiful relationship who will not love the wife? When your wife strikes a positive relationship with your mother, let's assume your mother is a difficult character, but you find that when your wife came in, how difficult your mother is, your wife was able to cultivate a positive relationship. Imagine the way you will love your wife and respect her, and in fact you will value her. You will say, my wife, you are special. I am a beneficiary of this. My mother is excited about my wife. In fact, it just says that this woman is awesome. She is lost in love with her because she deliberately cultivated this relationship. This is what. In fact, how would your wife feel if you are so close to her father and her mother and you take her mother like your mother? How will she feel? Your wife will love you very well because her real motive and interest in life is the well-being of her mother. Your wife, she cannot directly play that role. She has surrendered it to you. If she now sees that you are doing it well, you are improving the way of her mother, you are making her mother comfortable, her mother happy, your wife will lost in love with you. Your wife will lost in submissiveness to you. If your wife knows that you and her family are in good relationship, her heart will be comforted in your marriage because she knows that her husband is not a selfish man who has taken her away and has left a vacuum in her family. That my husband has gone there creatively to fill the gap, the vacuum that my leaving them created. Your wife will be at home. Your wife will value you. It will not value you because of your sexual prowess or your finances that you give. It will value you because of the string of relationship you have created between yourself and her family. Same way a man. So two of you are enriching one another when you go behind and build the relationship between you and your in-laws. They are special. In times of crisis, they will stand for you. In time, there was a day, a friend of mine, whose name may his soul rest in peace, who died. The man was from Edo State. I went to visit. Guess what? The moment I got there, the woman I thought would be down, mourning and crying, do you know what she was doing? She was running with cars to go and hide cars. I said, why are you? If you see the pandemonium, she was escaping to hide properties. I thought she was mourning, but she set her eyes on relationship between her and her in-laws, so she's suspected that they are coming to claim them. Very sad. Regina Tete said, brilliant topic for discussion. This will indeed help unite family for a healthy bondage. Regina Tete, thank you for that comment. That is the fact. And I was observing her. I had a lot of compassion because if at the death of your husband or your wife, the first thing you do is to hide properties, what is the quality of your mourning? What is the quality of your mourning? What is it? But you can solve these problems by cultivating a positive, beautiful relationship with families. Marriage is between families. Husband and wife are the agent executing the goodwill of the family. That's why you see African marriage is celebrated. We are happy. We unite. We enjoy kola nuts or food or fufu or whatever we use to consummate the marriage. We drink. We smile. There is sharing. There is jubilation. That purpose is supposed to dot the marriage. That spirit of jubilation. That spirit of togetherness. That spirit of oneness. So as a, be careful what you do with your in-laws and how you prepare to meet your in-laws. They are very important to your success. This is why when you meet a man, raise your eyes a little above the man and see the in-laws. The man, see your wife's people. Convince yourself if what they are is what you can integrate yourself into. If you are a very pious Christian and you meet a woman who is a Christian with you, but behind her is idol worshippers. Not only that, they don't worship idol in their heart only, but there is a full shrine to which she returns to, from which she came. The same with the man. Realize that you are going to be marrying a family of idol worshippers, even though they are in church. So, what do? For a man, most times a man will not change from his culture. A man will not shift from his culture. It's not expected that he should shift anyway. God wants a man to be what you call a foundation of his tradition, culture, and religion. And that any woman he marries is brought unto him. He doesn't go into her. So women, you are the one that's making the change. So when you are marrying, don't get carried away by saying, some women tell me, I don't even know his religion. It doesn't go to much church. If he's an idol worshiper and you want to marry an idol worshiper, what you need to understand is, what is the implication of my decision? Because your in-laws are part of the idols. So you can't go there and be fighting them. You can't go there and say they must convert. No. You have to know that you are the one converting to idol. But if anything happens and they permit you to continue to worship your God and they are worshiping idols, there will be a lot of conflict in the children you bring up. So these are important things that must be considered. So don't enter the marriage and expect a spectacular turnaround. So resolve them now. If you are marrying an Igbo man, a Yoruba woman marrying an Igbo man, you should understand Igbo, their orientation, their upbringing, first their culture and tradition as it relates to. So a lot of Yoruba women they say Igbo men are too authoritarian. They tell me that when I talk to them. And I say, well, it's a masculine society. And so when you go there, you should understand that. In the Yoruba side, they are a bit feminine, soft. And so they are very permissive. With that permissive culture, Igbos are not, they are authoritarian in bringing up their children, in setting up their family. If you understand this structure, you don't enter a Yoruba marriage, a Yoruba woman marry Igbo and complain about the authoritarianism. No, it's one of the ways that have brought them to their strength. So you submit to that authoritarianism. Don't complain about it. You must understand this. While you work to improve your husband's behavior, what you should do is to be patient. I also found the Igbo man complaining to me, Pat Abuji, complaining to me that Igbo woman, a Yoruba man marrying Igbo woman. You know what they do? They say the Yoruba woman is rude. She has no respect. She's not rude. She's being assertive because she's a lawyer. She's trained to be assertive, to be present in the marriage, to play her role. So the Yoruba man gets confused. She doesn't dobale or kule as they do. So they get confused. They don't do that in their culture. So when she marries you, to kneel down, okay, yes, I have rich on watching. So the man will say he has no respect. One lady called me from Niger State, from Kaduna, and said she's an Igbo woman working in and then she married to a northerner who is a Christian. But the quarrel every day is that once she say this, you are rude. When you say this, she wants to be part of her family in an active way. So she wants the husband to do this. And so the Igbo woman is very assertive, outspoken, and very, very industrious. So this was the northerner was saying that keep quiet, you are rude, you talk too much. Women are not to be seen. That is it not to be seen but to be heard. I don't know how she put it. The woman is frustrated. Anything I say, I'm rude. Anything I'm saying. So, please, my brothers and sisters, if you are already married to your wife and study her people, you will see that most of the things she exhibits are not far from her upbringing. A friend, sister of mine said, look at your wife's mother so that you know what you are marrying. This is true to a large extent, but there are exceptions. But exceptions are not the rule. Hail Jehovah and Jesus Christ. Thank you, Pat. It's a very important. A lot of people don't know that the mother. There was a time my younger brother wanted to marry a woman, and my father, my father, who is currently asleep, and my father opposed the marriage, and I was invited to speak to him. So I went there and I called my dad. Why are you opposed to this marriage? This woman wants to marry our brother, and my brother is really in love. So my daddy said, my son, the mother of this woman is not somebody I would like your brother to marry. She rules the men, and no men do not stay long in her hand. And right now, she's not with the man she's with. She's the one. So such a woman, the daughter had witnessed this lifestyle. So I don't know what your brother is marrying. So my father told me this. I understood my father, but the passion of my brother was very intense. And my sister and my mother had already bought into my brother's passion. So I didn't have a lot of supporters. So I called my brother and I told my what my father said. And my brother said the girl is different, that they should go ahead. So I went back to my dad, who respects my opinion, and I pleaded with him and persuaded him that his point is noted, but the person that will be in the marriage is my brother. So it's better we let them be. So my father reluctantly said, on that score, he will give since I am next to him, he will approve it. He will approve it reluctantly. So we went on, had a beautiful marriage, great ceremony. She had the first child, and then 2 years down the line, on a certain morning, I got a call. My father called me that something terrible has happened, that I should come straight to the family house. I went there, and I was told that the mother of my brother's wife just came in that morning and reported that the daughter had had an affair with another man, has gone outside of her husband to sleep with another man, and that the confession had been made. My brother was broken and shattered. When I met my brother, he was so devastated. So in the course of it, my father called me aside and said, this news is not a surprise. And that a woman who rules several men is because she has several men. And he told me this, and look at what this girl has done now. You see, listen, brothers and sisters. This is why we are all responsible for building, so that when our lives are good examples, our children will not be victims of our errors, will not be victims of the things we do. Those who tell you not to bother about how father and mother had lived, they are always in error because they are trying to take responsibility of good behavior from parents. There is no excuse for negative behavior. And God Almighty wants all of us to know that our lives are not lived for us, but we are living for the good of the future. That's why God said we should come and replenish the earth. Subdue it and dominate. These are spiritual ways. You can only do that by ensuring that you do the will of God Almighty. As you do the will of God, you are executing that injunction given to Adam and Eve. Subdue it. Dominate it. You dominate it with good, with love. You don't dominate it with crude, wicked, immoral behavior like many are doing today. There was a woman that I wanted to marry many years ago, and I visited her. The first thing I saw was her mother was having an anklet, and I saw that the way she clothed herself did not please me, because I could see this mother is not of high virtue. The woman, fantastic young woman, but I know that she exhibits fantastic character, but there is inside of her the mother. I'm sorry if you have not done well for yourself and you look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, what's Mr. Akatugba saying? We are the light that shines through our children. And so we must ensure that we cultivate ourselves. So when in-laws come in, that's why in the Yoruba land, who are the family, they will ask. Even in many societies, not today's fast food society where they meet in ShopRite, tomorrow they say they are married. No. You, the father and mother of your children, must look beyond the people that are brought to you as wives. Even if they are behaving very well currently, also try to understand behind them, what is behind them. Know their family. Go back to them. Who are these people? Where are they from? What is their orientation? The family is important. That's what you are marrying. That's why I say in-laws are special. Many women have running battles with their mother-in-laws. You wonder why? It's because of selfishness and stupidity. They want to have the man to themselves alone. No. That is not the character of Christianity. Christianity is generosity, not selfishness, selflessness. Selflessness is Christianity. Selfishness is Satan's agenda. You are wishing to have your husband to yourself. Family, go and die. Leave us alone. No. You are not in the truest sense a Christian. Christianity is not sitting in the church or being an active participant in church affairs. Christianity is selflessness, is generosity, which is called charity, the true love of Christ. And a charitable person forgets herself or himself for the good of others. So I want my wife to be happy. What do? I extend good to those she loves. I want my husband to be happy. Why? Extend good to those who hold dear. You will see your husband loving you without task. You can't try to pull him from his citadel of his family. A man sustains his family, and then you came in and you want him not to be. My brothers who are married to white women currently are in this kind of struggle. They want to come to their families, but the wife mostly will oppose, and they have not taken time to visit the families of the husbands they are marrying. You know, the Westerners are marvelous. You marry a man, have children with him, you don't know where he came from in the world. You have not gone to visit the place. I've seen women in Lagos. They are married to a man. They don't know the hometown, the village, the place their husband came from. They don't know whether the center of the house is relation. They don't know. They just married. Some have never been. They were saying, my husband didn't take me there now. And you are married to him. Even if you see all his family in Lagos or wherever you live, go to where he came from. See it. This is where you are from. Look around. It will give you information of what you are married to. Yes, Nicholas Kobina. You know, Wyatt Boss. These are great guys that are joining today. So you see what I'm saying. Marriage is to your in-laws, not to your husband. You are with them for life and eternity. You know, my mother married my father when she did not know him. She was parceled to him. And they remained in marriage till the death of my father. And when my father died, what happened? My mother continued in the marriage till today. She is there with the family. They see her as a mother of the home. It is in this spirit that our women should think about marriage. Not a thought that they enter, craftily shift away everybody, and then have the man to themselves. No, what type of person is this? You must expand. Don't shrink. Expand. Reach out. Locate them. That is why you are marrying. It beautifies your spiritual path. It beautifies your physical comfort. It secures your children. Because whatever good you do to the in-laws, it's called you are scattering abroad. Kali Ikbe. Kali. This is my big brother from Benue State. Good to see you this morning. So this is the beauty of it. This is the beauty of it. You know? So we must be conquerors. Conquerors by doing good. So when you marry your in-laws. You don't marry your husband. Those who are wise understand what I'm saying. Those who are not wise continue to tread on the selfish path. They want wife, husband to themselves. In the West, when they do that, even parents will not know. They will see their daughter say, where's your husband? The daughter will say, I've married 2 others after that. Because they don't even participate in the marriage ceremonies. They don't participate in the marriage. They don't even know the life of their daughter. The daughter just as if she's a sales agent. In Africa, marriage is between husband and wife with the families. And when you are so, make sure you cultivate a good relationship with your mother-in-law wives. Because the heart of your husband is in the inner place of her mother, of his mother. She will love whoever loves his mother. She will love who tolerates his mother. She will love who beautifies his mother. The same way a woman will throw herself in the arms of a man who cares for her mother. She wants her mother's good. She wants her father's comfort. That's what we all are. Those who love those we love are those we love. We love those who love those we love. We love those who love those we cherish. So, finally speaking this morning, brothers and sisters, remember that I've used this edition to take you up to the reality that in-laws are special. They are not people you wish away. They are not people you avoid. They are not people you wish are dead before you married. Because if you have an in-law that is difficult, God Almighty has set that up as a test in your journey to success, eternal success. Because you must chisel selfishness from you before you enter God's kingdom. A selfish person cannot enter God's kingdom. I say again, a selfish person cannot enter God's kingdom. And if you don't shed that garment of selfishness, which is brought about by exclusivity, I am the only one. It's my husband. It's No. Man, the same. You can't enter God's kingdom when you have chiseled your in-laws away because of your selfishness. So let's kill that satanic influence of selfishness and wear the clothes of charity, which is the love of Christ. And it is in marriage that these qualities are tested to the fullest. Because when you marry a man, you don't know his family at all. But as you marry the man, you begin to grow with the man. And then you chisel your selfish character, because every day your wife is demanding from you. Every day your husband is demanding from you. In-laws are demanding from you. Not money. They are demanding attention. They are demanding behavior. They are demanding good character. They are demanding generosity. They are demanding hospitality. All of this, as you keep dispensing them, selfishness will disappear. And selflessness and charity becomes your full persona. And God will say, my daughter is ready for this place where I, God, dwell, which is called the divine seat of divine love, and He preside upon the world. For God is love, and love is selflessness. And those who commit unto God must have the same quality. For Jesus said, you should be holy, for your Father is holy. Holiness cannot be attained with selfishness. Not possible. So because of that, marriage is that foundation that trains us very well. That's why you see a great man of God, so successful in the affairs of his work. Many millions are his followers. But with one woman, he could not succeed. They broke up. With one woman. But he's so good with many followers. But one woman challenged him. It's because of something. Because of something. So when people divorce, why look at them? Oh, why? We resume. So I'm sorry about that interruption. Yeah, I have a text message there that I like to read. Greetings from Kaswa, Ghana. Member of LDS, fantastic. Former staff of Africa, West Africa office. I listen to your good counsel every weekend. You are doing a great job. Well, thank you very much. Kalikwe say Kalikwe Wire Boss are still watching right now. So let me say finally before I close, so that we don't mistake it. I thank you for that writing, that Latter-day Saints member. Fantastic. I'm very, very impressed with your comment this morning. Let me get your name right. That's Nicholas Kobina Odampa Kondwa. Fantastic. Thank you for joining me. On that note, my brothers and sisters, remember always that if you are married already, go now and begin to improve your relationship with your in-laws. It is an eternal gift, an eternal edge around your marriage. As for those who are yet to marry, please do not enter into marriage without looking beyond the woman you have chosen. You are marrying her culture and tradition. For a man, your wife will transmit into your culture. But what is required is the patience for her to change the change. It takes time for change to occur. God has empowered a woman to do the change. But the period to change is varied from individual to individual. So you must be patient with the person. For a man, you must understand that you are marrying a woman brought up in another tradition. So take your time and be very patient. The Bible says long suffer, suffer for long. For a woman, don't expect your husband to behave like your culture. Don't even think it. Don't convert your husband to be like you. You are the one doing the conversion. To come into his life and convert him, it means you've stolen him away from where God planted him. So it is not expected. Like Solomon was chastised. He married many women and his heart was turned from God after their gods. Sheba would have done so to him. So remember that you don't do anything that will take your husband and turn him to become your culture. If you do so, you have taken from God where he planted the man. It's not in your place to lead your husband away. It's in your place to follow your husband to his destination, because you are here to help him fulfill a divine mission. It is not you he will come and help, because your mission is subservient to his mission. For God knows his mission, and wherever he's located now is where God has located him to fulfill that mission. Just like God located Moses inside of Egypt in the home of a Jewish slave. There is a mission for all men. If you are located in a village in Kafachan, God has a purpose. A wife come there and help the husband to find that purpose. Not coming to derail the man and start arguing with the man. He's stubborn. I tell him something, he will not listen. Yes, he has. The Bible says in Genesis 3:16, he said, all thy desire shall be that of your husband, and he will rule over you. Meaning there are times he will disagree with you. That should not call for occasion of sadness for you. When your husband disagree, submit to him. Because God said when you submit to him, that is when he approves you. Not when you make your husband submit to you. If your husband is submissive to you, God doesn't like it. So culturally speaking, traditionally speaking, know who you are marrying. So that if you cannot cope with those people, don't marry there. Marry into a culture and tradition you can live with till your old age. Don't be carried away when a young man say, I'm from Benue. I don't like their culture. Who told you? When he gets old, you will see that he will like that culture. That same culture he disparaged when he was young. That is the culture he will exist in. He will get old into. He will be buried in the way of that culture, and we fraternize with the people in old age. So don't get carried away with modern society. You are holding phone. Your fingernails are so long. You are having Brazilian hair or Peruvian hair. You go to ShopRite and you think that is end of life. No. Marry with the eye of eternity. Marry with the eye of end of time. So that you make the right choices that will save you and your children, and make sure that there is peace in your home all the time. Remember, in-laws are special. On that note, till next week when I come your way again, I want to, I've read all this. Thank you all for watching. Kalikwe, my friend, who is there again? Kobina, Kalikwe, Wire Boss, Nicholas, Pat Agbuje, and Richard Rich, and then Regina Tete, Gunkoya, and all these great Nnamdi Ejerika for regularly tuning in. I thank you all. I want to say that in your marriages, I have Kole Neni. I want to thank you all for your time and always joining me on Marriage Melodies. Let's do it together and keep doing it. Please, these little pieces of nugget of wisdom, let us use them. It will help us to build our life, and let's use it to teach our children so that they are safe in this very difficult world. Because the world is going astray with so much knowledge, but all of it are not godly knowledge. Till next week when I come your way again, I remain Theo Akatugba. Bye for now. Yeah, thank you. It is indeed so.